The Walt Disney Company has spent $15 billion building Disney Plus and has yet to see a dime of positive cash flow. As subscribers fall off, Disney plans to cut costs, raise prices, and release less content in order to show Wall Street that for at least one quarter they can have more money coming in than going out for Disney Plus. Let's talk about that here on That Park Place. In preparation for the earnings call, we broke down the business model of Disney Plus versus Hulu and why Hulu is the secret golden goose of the streaming industry, while Disney Plus lags behind as a drain on the company. One day, they might have a month where Disney Plus makes more than it spends, but at that point, Disney Plus will have to make more than $15 billion after expenses to be worthwhile. Could Disney have been better served by simply making that content and selling it to Netflix or not killing their physical home media? Let's go to the discussion. Let's move on to the real problems facing the Walt Disney Company. Disney Plus raising their ad prices, their price on ad-free Disney Plus to $13.99 per month starting October 12th. That would be about a month ago. I believe that would also be included in this current earnings release that will be coming out here within the next couple of days. And I think this is a solid plan for them to take a streaming service that is declining in numbers and just decide to charge more people that have forgotten to look at their bank statement every month and see if they can milk a little bit of money out of it. How's Disney Plus doing, by the way?
I've got a different take on this, because the way that I see this is not that they're trying to. I mean, that would be utterly stupid, and we know they're capable of that, so don't take that away from them. But at the same time, I suspect that what they really want to do is drive people off of the ad-free version, and they want them on the advert side of this. They need people seeing commercials. That's where the money's going to be, if there's going to be any money at all. Now, I'm not saying that there is money to be had in this. The level of churn necessary is devastating to a company making a profit if they're not named Netflix. But I suspect they want to move people. They want to transition people off of this and onto the ads.
I think you're right. Now, sorry, Lou, to cut you off there.
No, that's okay.
Just to set the stage for anybody who wants to understand the Disney Plus situation for tomorrow, coming in fresh. Let's first of all, let's talk about how much money have they spent on Disney Plus so far?
Oh gosh, or at least $15 billion.
$15 billion. And
that's without, as I keep stressing, the opportunity cost lost in not having the revenue from all that material being on Netflix and everywhere else.
And you add that in, and it's staggering.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I mean, and again, maybe somebody doesn't understand what that would mean. Lou, do you want to explain the opportunity cost of?
Well, in other words, before they came up with Disney Plus and pulled everything and ended all the contracts they had with Netflix or Amazon or anybody, all of that material was making them millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars in licensing fees. So if you say, well, we're going to keep it exclusive to our thing, but nobody comes to watch your thing, it's not just what you cost to set up the servers and set up the advertising and everything else. It's what you aren't making anymore on the same stuff.
Don't forget they're about to underwrite an $8 billion investment as well.
And put aside the new stuff, just the existing stuff.
Yeah. I just to correct one thing here. The last quarter that they're reporting on tomorrow ended October 1. Right, so this July is actually, this is actually in Q1 2024 that this happened. But at the same time, and this is why I think Pro is 100% right, is they went to, and I hope I'm not like undermining some points you're going to make, Jonas, but they actually provided a special for people to subscribe to the ad tier. For $3.99, or was it $2.99?
You know, one of the most interesting things I found in the Netflix call was when they expressed their feeling that their philosophy about ads versus not was that the ads was a way of saving overall retention for people who said, I can't really afford it. And you said, well, don't go away. Get all the stuff you've been getting, but take a few commercials with it for less money. That's smart. That's really smart. Is Disney that smart?
Yes, Disney is that smart, whether or not they want to realize it. So I'm going to bring up the financial statement here.
Oh, here we go.
And I've got a question for you guys after this. There's something I don't know, and I'd like to know it.
These are the SEC filings for the Walt Disney Company right now. If you look right now, Disney Plus, domestic U.S. and Canada subscribers, they have it broken out here. They make $7.31 per user on Disney Plus. That is revenue, not profit. That is the amount of money that is coming in per user on Disney Plus. Right here, we see that they have 46 million subscribers to Disney Plus in the US and Canada. Also of note over here, the last quarter, they had 300,000 more subscribers, meaning that they are currently losing subscribers on this streaming service that has not yet broken even on the at least $15 billion in debt that they have gone into, not spending that money on things that make them money, only breaking even. They still have not made it there, and they're starting to lose money already. So they have not yet made it to 1 quarter of profitability, not 4 years of profitability, 1 quarter of profitability.
Yes.
So
$15 billion, and you're losing subscribers right here. And this is where it's going to be crucial for this next earnings call because, well, we know the competitors out there are reporting that they are experiencing sub growth. Even Peacock, which didn't have a lot of subs to begin with, even they're gaining.
Well, and Peacock is mostly ad supported. Sorry, did I cut somebody off there?
Oh no, I was just going to add to that, and you're 100% right, Jonas. But on top of being basically ad supported, they don't really push that service.
Mm-hmm.
They really don't. Now, obviously, ESPN Plus here is adorable with its 25 million subscribers. Good for them. Looking down here, you'll notice this is the average revenue per paid subscriber. This is actual paid subscribers. They have not added in all the people who get it for free on wholesale discounts. That is completely separate. And if they start putting those numbers in there, you will know that they are truly desperate to try to pump these up. But 731, that is how much Disney makes on domestic US and Canada Disney Plus subscribers. That is nice. It's not nearly as much as they make on the streaming service. Down here, Hulu, just the SVOD bundle for Hulu, they make $12.39 per user.
Yep.
What is the difference between Hulu and Disney Plus as far as business model goes? Ads.
Pure ad supported, yeah.
Yeah, they make more off of their ads customers than they do off of their ad-free customers. That is that's been true for years, and it's fantastic. It's been the greatest secret for Hulu. Hulu is where people go to watch all that binge-worthy content that they just turn it on and they'll watch the entire the statistics on people watching the entire run of Golden Girls when it dropped on the streaming service. It was something like 30 to almost 50% of viewers went ahead and watched the entire series, hitting ad breaks all along the way. All I'd have to say to that is obviously thank you for being a friend.
Yeah, on that Q2 earnings call, Iger talked about this and how like the ad revenue model for them is definitely the way they want to go because you can essentially double your revenue, right? You can get those that subscriber revenue just from the users, and then you can also get that ad revenue.
If people are watching Disney Plus stuff the way they're watching Hulu stuff, you got to have the numbers because ads are about accountability and how many, as I always call it, how much attention span you're selling to the advertisers.
And this is definitely why they want to buy Hulu outright, right? Because, as far as we know, Disney Plus isn't necessarily getting that viewership that Hulu is. Go ahead, Coach.
No, they really aren't. And here's something that nobody says when they think about Hulu. And I'm not being contrarian to what you just said, because I agree that they are desperate to buy Hulu. I just don't know that it's the smartest business decision because I think, and I may be pointing this out in an article that I wrote, but Hulu is absolutely a problem for Disney long term because they rely on Hulu plus live TV and everything else to have essentially a carriage deal of their own with their competitors so that they can carry programming that they don't own. They also, if they sell off their TV networks and things like that and their production abilities, like let's say they get rid of their quote unquote crown jewel ABC and its associated capital cities properties, you have less content to offer on your streaming platforms.
I think that's why they want to offset the loss that they'll get from the Hulu carriage deal, as you put it, culture with combining Disney Plus, right? I think that's the play that they have. Oh, it'll be this ultimate bundle, this ultimate package that we can just package these things together.
But if you're sailing off the mechanisms that create the content for you, aren't you undermining? This is the thoughts I've been having the last few days. This is undermining your ability to serve that. And again, if you're at war with, Brian doesn't necessarily over at Comcast Universal, right? He doesn't necessarily like Bob all that much.
No, they seem to hate each other, or at the very least, you would call them rivals.
Well, and they go to war when it comes out to the business side.
Oh,
so
yes.
I'm looking at it and I'm going, okay, so Comcast is kicking your butt everywhere else, and now you're making yourself incredibly vulnerable to them
Right.
Because they have the ability to just shut you out of negotiations to carry any of their product.
Right. So and you're absolutely right, Culture. And just to emphasize this before we move on to the discussion of the Hulu acquisition specifically,
Don't forget my question now. I've got a question.
Oh, okay. We'll get to that here in just a moment. The 44 million subscribers to Hulu in the United States, because Hulu is, as far as Disney is concerned, is only a U.S. product. There is another company in Japan that has access to the Hulu name. Doesn't have anything to do with Disney. They have some deals with Disney, but Hulu in Japan, different company. Disney Plus right now, 46 million subscribers. Hulu, 44 million subscribers. Disney only makes $7.31 per user in the United States on Disney Plus, and $12.39 per user on Hulu. So this might be the reason why Hulu is the one that they want to purchase. We are going to cover two more aspects of this, but Pro, what's your question?
One important thing first. When you see that number for Hulu, that's Disney's share currently, as opposed to the total.
Yes, so
it's even bigger than what it looks like compared to Disney when you add in the stuff that's currently going to Comcast that won't after this deal goes through.
That's a very
good point. I would suggest that possibly, and I'm not certain of this, but since Comcast stopped paying their maintenance cost on content and everything else over on Hulu, I'm not certain that they are getting a share, and I'm not certain for how long that's happened.
Right, and there's about $500 million there that is unpaid. So, Pro, what's your question?
Well,
Caller,
I want to preface.
You're on the line.
I want to preface my question by saying that I am thoroughly enjoying this live stream, and I'm so pleased that you guys have been doing this with That Park Place. I look forward to what you guys are going to name the show, and it's been incredible watching the audience, more than 400 at times in a morning show, and that's not easy to do because on the Pacific side of things, it's really early in the AM. Culture wouldn't know anything about that, of course, and but the audience is more limited when you do a morning show, and everybody's tuning in. It's really wonderful to see. But the question is, for all the audience out there and myself, we would love to know, when could we expect to see the addition of charter subscribers into the Disney Plus subscribers?
Oh, that.
Good point.
Well, that's
when will that hit, and how will that be? It doesn't seem to me that the charter subscribers that'll be added will be bumping up the ROI for Disney. It's going to be diluting the amount that they make per user.
Well, there's two.
What is that called again, guys? What's the famous acronym that we always say?
ARPU. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I used to work with a guy named ARPU.
So when will that show up?
That's a good question. It should be showing up in this recent earnings report. That there's two sides to that, of course. The first is that they may be adding in subscribers, and the question is in this language down here. There's some contemplation of whether or not a subscriber counts if they aren't paying for the service, and whether or not they're included as part of a deal.
I'm curious about that. I'll tell you what else I'm curious about, Jonas. If a charter, let's say that you have a charter subscriber, and by virtue of the fact that they're a charter subscriber, now they have been given for free a Disney Plus subscription. Okay, so that they're not giving Disney Plus any money. If they never open the Disney Plus app, but they've been given the subscription via charter, do they count? Because if everybody who has it counts, yet they're not using the service, then you get into some really wonky numbers that are just meaningless.
Well, I will say, as far as this, getting into the language, if they are a paid subscriber, they count towards this because they don't want to dilute anybody. You have to have skin in the game in order to be counted in this number. Disney intentionally makes this number undiluted as much as they possibly can. Including,
you're saying that they would exclude those who have a charter subscription so they're not going to take the people who have a charter subscription and are not paying in directly, but perhaps charter is paying in some very small amount on their behalf.
Unless they're working out something where charter is specifically, there's something in the deal that says we are specifically having this amount of money going to Disney Plus.
Gotcha. Understand. All right. I'm smarter than I was, and that's why I wanted to ask the question.
One more codicil to that question. How many of those people who are now getting it, quote unquote, for free, whether charter's paying for it or not, to some degree, used to be members and say, well, why should I keep up my individual membership when I can get it for free?
Exactly.
Right,
exactly. This is the gain loss on something like this. If people are saying, well, I have it for free, why am I going to pay for it? That takes $7.31 out of the equation here per user.
And if I'm getting it for free, I'm sure as hell not going to get the discounted price to get ads because I'm getting it for free. What do I need the ads for? And therefore, they don't add to the ad revenue that Disney makes on the ad people.
All right.
In terms of the subs, do we have any delineation between bundle people?
Yes, they do. In the more recent ones, they do break out who is bundle versus main.
Okay.
But in that same one, they don't break out who is Disney Plus versus Hulu.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I think right now there's about I want to say 20, but I would need to go look at that. I looked at a lot of numbers in prep for this show, so I'm not going to count on my ability to grab that.
And Jonas, I know you essentially work 24/7. You and Culture have something in common there, but I do hope that at some point you'll be able to put down what you've learned about the background from Nelson Peltz and Mr. Johnston. I hope you'll be able to put that into a thatparkplace.com article, because that really is the sort of thing that would lead the way for the rest of the media, should they be interested in facts versus narrative.
May I ask a show of hands kind of question? How many people here believe that those investors that are going to be on the call do as much research as Jonas does? Or know half the things that he knows from admittedly hard work, but a relatively short look at this thing?
They're also not interested in the sorts of things that we're interested in.
Well, they damn well should be. And if I was
investing
my money,
you're right.
I would want them to be.
You're right.
This conversation was originally part of That Park Place Live, which we do every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Feel free to hit the notification bell if you'd like to be notified. Of course, like this video if you like this video. Share it out on social media if you know someone who might be interested. And we would be honored if you would subscribe to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.